Hasan Piker is now blatantly defending Hamas violent actions.
A little bit. The notion that Hamas are bad because they're bad is stupid. Here in Algeria, the FLN, Front de Libération Nationale, was also labeled as a terrorist organization by the French occupation and their European allies. Now it's praised as a symbol of freedom. It's always the same. Yes, that's why I said the IRA as well. The IRA, the FLN, and also Mandela's party as well. Okay? The Viet Cong. Yeah. The ANC, the Viet Cong, the IRA.
Every single organization that, as long as they oppose the U.S. or the West, I think they are heroes. Every single one. Go live with these people. Like, why? Leave, then get out of the West. If we're the most unholy, horrible people in the universe, you have nothing good to say about us. Everybody else is more moral and more better. Why are you here scraping, leeching off the society, living your best, most consumerist, hyper-capitalist life?
Every single instance. It is so weird that every single instance where there is...
Every single instance where the West is the enemy, I think the other side is right. That is weird.
Is a liberatory group. There's an emancipatory force that actually is violently trying to engage in an act of revolution, trying to violently engage in an act of emancipation, violently resisting against an unimaginable, untold amount of violence caused by the occupying entity under the legal structure designed by the Western world. They are always the enemies. They're always the terrorists. They're always the bad guys. Okay? They're always the
guy. Every time I see clips of Destiny, it's always like very confident, but also confidently unsure. But because he's like channeling State Department propaganda, it oftentimes is just left unnoticed. Like people don't look at it and go, wait, what do you mean? You're not really sure? Okay, well, how about you get sure? Like you could,
yeah, just get sure on some of the most complicated like international conflict. Okay.
You could
just
look it
get
up.
Sure, bro. Just get
Hold
sure
on,
on
yeah,
this.
wait, let me
Right?
finish.
And he always invokes plausible deniability so that people can turn around and go, yeah, well, he said he was not necessarily sure.
Yeah, that's such a weird thing. One thing that I notice, and this might just be in my community, sometimes I'll get hit with really weird things where I'm like, in any other community, people would make fun of you for insulting somebody on this. So this would be an example of that. Why would you ever like couch your opinion in caution if you aren't sure of something, bro? Just be 100% sure. Like that's such a stupid, that's such a weird
That is literally what he's
criticism.
getting criticized for, bro. He's getting criticized for being way too confident.
Also,
Like,
wait,
bro,
hold on. Somebody said there's a second clip. 1 second.
Dude, the second clip is just the most triggering, most unself-aware I've ever seen.
I think
in
I
my
have
life.
the exact opposite problem where I am
Oh no. He's
grossly aware of the lack of knowledge that I have on a particular matter because there's so much.
Does this make you
Always,
fucking
there's so
rage?
much more to learn.
When does Hasan do any learning though, guys? He streams for 10 hours a day. He does zero research on anything. And he's not spending any other, like when is he learning? Where is the Hasan learning time? When does he have time for that?
So I don't have that
He
same
doesn't,
level
dude.
of
He's talking to
confidence.
these forensic experts apparently that are two follower accounts, dude. Oh man, it is the most. I don't know, man. That clip makes me so angry, dude.
Okay, wait, let me finish watching this. Jesus.
And then I think that makes people think that I am oblivious to the reality or something. Especially when someone that comes across more confident.
I also hate this because Hasan stole this talking point from me. He's saying I come across more confident.
More skilled orator.
But he literally just said that I don't come across as confident because I'm confidently unsure because I say that I'm not sure, right? One of the big issues that I notice when I debate people, I'm talking half to you, half of my audience, is sometimes I'll get cucked by people that don't know what they're talking about, but they're fully willing to say, oh, have you seen the latest literature on this? It actually proves my point 100%. And maybe I haven't. Like, oh, I'm not sure. Even though I'm pretty sure they're incorrect, I'm pretty sure they're wrong and
It
making
was
it
like
up.
him lying to me in the debate, dude.
Exactly,
Saying
yeah.
the BBC said this when that's not what they
Exactly.
said.
Yeah. When other people are confidently asserting things that they don't know, and I'm a little bit more cautious, I'm like, I don't know if that's true. I'm not sure. I end up looking like the weak person there, even if ultimately they're incorrect. I've tried to find other ways around this. Like one of the things I've said is, well, I'm pretty sure if everybody looks this up right now, you're probably not right. Or when I go home and I look this up, it's probably going to be the exact opposite of what you're saying. So I'm not going to and 99% of the time, it usually is. 99% usually is. When I look stuff up that people have brought up and I go home and I look at it, I'm like, oh, it was the exact opposite of what he said. Or, oh, yeah. But it's hard. it's hard to counter that in the heat of the moment when somebody's willing to just confidently assert you don't know if they have an idea what they're talking about.
I just don't know what the point of having a debate is if you're just willing to lie.
I know. Yeah. Let me do 34 more seconds. Let me listen to the rest of this. Hold on.
Obvious to the reality or something, especially when someone that comes across more confident, that is a more skilled orator, can come in and just say, I'm right, and you're owned.
I'm right and you're owned. Keep in mind, Hasan was doing this the entire time over like the hospital bombing, but okay. Sorry.
Yeah, or stuff like this, like lacking knowledge about JDAMs and such, like things of that nature.
He didn't do that. Okay, hold on. Ignore everything that I just said. Okay.
Don't you just want to slam your desk, dude?
He's trolling. Hasan is a master troll. He knows he's trolling. He's gonna cash out soon.
Bro. He's serious.
He's
trolling.
Bro. In a month, he's gonna be like, really, guys? The JDAM didn't give it away. Thanks for the cash. I'm done streaming. Thanks for the mansion. Peace out. That's what he's gonna say.
I become a fan.
The only instances where people can be like, well, there was a clip of you saying this is definitely.
I just feel like it's weird because it's like, how is it? I feel like the smartest people I've ever met in real life are people that are willing to go like, oh, I don't know, I got to look more into that.
Yeah, it's people that like can admit the limits of their knowledge. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's so insane. Like, for instance, I worked for like a photography company. If you talk to any of the like new hires that were like right out of college, they would all be like, oh no, I know like everything about photography. I got everything done. If you ask like any of the vets, they'd be like, I know like 60%, maybe. Right? It's like only the like people that know the least act like they know the most.
Yeah, it's called Mount when somebody learns a little bit about a thing and they're really confident about it, and then as you learn more, you kind of couch your opinion a little bit more carefully. Play the speculation clip. He's never confident. He's always cautious. Yeah, here is Hasan being cautious. This is what Hasan means when he says he's super cautious about everything. Okay.
If I make a prediction or a speculation, it can sometimes be wrong. IDF didn't bomb the hospital? Yes, it did. Yes, it did. You of yes, it absolutely did. Fuck you, genocidal scumbag. You have no dignity. You do not have an ounce of dignity inside of your soul. You piece of you garbage, monstrous scumbag. You garbage, monstrous scumbag. Why did you lie? How can you live with yourself, you genocidal piece of If
I'm sorry. Jesus Christ.
Why is he willing to wrongly report these stories? Like, surely he knows, right? After to a degree, like it can't all be him just being stupid.
I don't want to like.
Is it really just like pushing lefty ideology
It's not
for no reason?
Yeah, this isn't a problem unique at all to Hasan. We live. This sounds so cringe to say this, but like in a post-fact world. Facts and stories and headlines, these are all just vehicles to sell our ideology. We don't actually, or a lot of people don't actually care about the underlying truth of the matter. So if I see a headline saying, IDF soldier 400 Palestinian virgin, women, like I'm going to retweet that because it sounds true because the IDF are monsters and boom. You don't actually care about the underlying article. You don't care about the underlying facts. That's just everybody when it comes to, especially alternative media these days. Like Tim Pool.
It's everybody. It seems like psycho though to see from the sideline, bro.
It is psycho, but like a lot of people in alternative media run this way. Because remember, in alternative media, we make all of our money. We don't have, some people have sponsors, but not much. And we don't have like, like editors or, managers telling us what to do. We make our money because we tell our fans what they want to hear. And if our fans really want to hear Israel bad, then if I see a story like that, I'm going to tweet it out. Or if they want to hear Palestinians bad, then you just tweet it out. You just like play your narrative and you play your side because that's how they make the money. So, I mean, that's what everybody in alternative media does. Nobody is immune to this. Like, you think if a study came out tomorrow showing that single payer healthcare was the best possible way ever to deliver healthcare, you think Ben Shapiro is going to say that on his podcast, right?
But what does Ben Shapiro have to gain from healthcare? I mean, I don't get it.
Because his base wants to hear socialized healthcare bad, big government bad, because he's a conservative pundit. So every story that he gives has to come from that angle. And for Hasan, he's a tanky. Every story has to come from the angle of West bad, America bad, everybody that's not America good. That's why he defended Putin early on and said the Ukrainian invasion wasn't happening. That's why he defended China invading Tibet. That's why he defends the Palestinians over the Israelis. Like, that's why he says that Venezuela and Bolivia have never had economic or election problems. Like, it all is like very predictable when you understand where they're generating it from, which is America bad.
I mean, it just blows my mind that his audience is watching him be like consistently wrong on because all he watches is like these super like he watches this like, all right, he says all Western media is super biased. Like, sure, I'll give him that. I don't know,
And then
right?
he listens to Russia
But
Today.
then he's only looking at like
Or Al
these super
Jazeera, or-
biased like Middle Eastern like news sources, or like these like weird tweets where he's like looking at like QNN, which is straight up related to Hamas. It's like Hamas news,
Yeah.
right? So it's like I don't get how his audience is. I don't know. I guess
I'm
the
sorry, not
politics
Tibet,
shit is hard for me to
Taiwan.
relate
My
to.
bad. Not Tibet, Taiwan. No, I thought he was making excuses for Tibet in the or Tibet as well in the past.
Yeah, he was. He was saying that they were all like slave-owning monsters.
Yeah, they were
so
horrible people,
okay
and
for
yeah.
them to
Or
do
maybe he
that.
said Tibet and Taiwan. He might have said
Yeah,
both.
he
actually.
justified
did,
both
yeah.
invasions. If that's
Yeah.
what you said.
The audience doesn't know or care about the underlying facts as well. There's also, in a lot of these communities, and you'll notice this, you should pay attention to this, in a lot of these communities, there's a lot of epistemic poisoning as well, meaning it's
What's
not
that
just enough, epistemology is like the study of knowledge or truth, broadly speaking, in psychology. Epistemic is like ways that we arrive at truth or how we determine or discern what's truthful or not. When I say epistemic poisoning, what I mean is it's not enough to just say, for instance, like vaccines are bad. When data comes out that disagrees with you, if you don't want to conform to the data, you've got to say the sources are bad too. If you argue with conservatives that are anti-vaxxers, you'll also notice that they don't trust the CDC. They don't trust any pharmaceutical company, and oftentimes they don't trust academic institutions. Hasan is the same way in that if a report comes out, he doesn't trust the IDF or Israel's reports. He doesn't trust the U.S. State Department, and he won't trust a lot of people in the West. But surprisingly, they will trust.
He is like a COVID denier, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
just
No, it's
like
the same.
that.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You have to epistemically attack all of the sources of truth that'll disagree with you, and then the only ones that you validate or verify. He'll say things like, "I can't trust the United States State Department on easily verifiable information, but I can trust Hamas."
Yeah,
Like,
he sees like Russia building bridges to invade Ukraine. He's like, this can't be real.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Crazy. All right, so let's say you get something wrong, right? I'm sure in your career you've gotten some geopolitical shit wrong, right?
No. Yeah.
What,
I'm just kidding.
what do you do to like what is a way for him to I guess what have you done to like correct that or move on? Like have you just owned it or what? Like is it just a him thing or does Vosh do the same shit? You do the same shit?
The
You, like,
ways that
weirdly
I
double
try.
down and try and justify, like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, like in the heat of the moment, nobody will change their mind. Like I'll double down on shit I'm probably wrong
Sure,
about.
sure, but let's say
Sure.
2 days pass, a week
Yeah.
pass, whatever.
So here's the difference. Okay, here are a couple things that I try to do that I feel are unique to politics streamers. Is one, I try to read a lot. Not just headlines and not just Twitter, but I'll try to do like a decent amount of research. At the very least, I'll read a full article, I'll read profiles, I'll read papers on the Israel-Palestine stuff. I'm reading tons of different wiki entries. I'm reading excerpts from books. I'm reading and watching like documentaries and shit. Like we're doing a lot of like actual research. For most of the politics streamers, even though they'll say like, oh, well, I talk to historians and blah, 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 they're not talking about history. They're just bringing a person on for their opinion. So one is I try to do a lot more reading or research, okay? Which doesn't make me immune. Obviously, I can be blah, blah, blah. The second thing I try to do is when I'm talking about a thing or another streamer, I always try to show full clips. I'm never watching a 20-second clip of Hasan and going like, oh, I knew he was a person. I'll usually be like, well, what's the video this is from, or where is this, blah, 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 and I'll watch like long form stuff and review it. But the way that they try to get around it is they say, oh, Steven's obsessed with me. Why did he do a 3-hour stream on me? And usually it's because, well, I want to cover everything you said. I don't want to just like take a clip.
Insane, dude.
Yeah. And then another thing that helps me a lot, that's a little bit unique to me, and I say this and everybody says this, but I'm the only one that actually means it. I truly don't have like a political affiliation. If Democrats start doing dumb shit, I'll say that Democrats are doing dumb shit. Conservatives, I start to agree with more. I'm like, oh, I kind of agree with Ben Shapiro. I have no problem saying that. With a lot of these guys, the way that they grow their political platforms is by first aligning hardcore with a political ideology, and then they grow their fan base that way. So what that means is you suffer a lot of audience capture. When my audience watches me, they just expect me to give my take on the news. If I go watch
audience capture? What do you mean by that?
audience capture means that you feel a pressure to deliver the type of content that your audience watches and that might start to misalign with what you actually believe. Hasan will never go on stream and defend the actions of the U.S. State Department or change his opinion on Israel-Palestine or anything in the Cold War because he can't. His fan base expects, like when you go to watch Hasan's stream, you don't go to watch for Hasan's opinion on the news. You go to watch for what is the progressive opinion on the news. Right? Nobody goes to see. Hasan's like giving a unique, original take on anything.
He like plays team sports.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's benefits and cons. The benefit is that you get to grow an audience much easier because now you're in an established area. You've got good talking points. Blah 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 blah. But then the con is you have very little flexibility if you start to get stuff wrong, or if your political movement starts to get stuff wrong. Progressives have been kind of crazy over the past few years. It's really easy for me to back away from that and go like, oh, they've been kind of crazy. Hasan can't back away from far lefties or tankies because that's who he's like
I
throwing
don't
his
get
lot
it. Is
in.
he just gonna like? What's he think's gonna happen though? What, he just loses followers or some shit?
I don't know actually. I'm not
Like
sure.
I don't It's just weird to understand because the whole point of doing like being like a YouTuber, like a Twitch streamer, is that you can just be you. You don't have to work for anybody. But I don't know. The politics side is weird. I'm still dipping my toes in it a bit.
It's dumb.
That's not what happened.
Then what happened?
I don't even know what happened, but I know that's not what happened.
Cool. On the ground journalist Hasan Piker at work.
Okay.
Dude, isn't that a classic clip, dude? That's some classic
Yeah.
Hasanabi
Sure.
on the ground journalism, bro.
Yeah.
It's
Listen,
so
you're just mad because
funny.
you're not on the ground like he is, okay?
Hey, dude, he's on the ground of his like mansion, bro.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Destiny.
All right. Bye.
Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.